Hello, welcome to School Matters. Thanks for joining us for another edition of our program. Today, we are talking with Sandy Hamrick, and she is the Director of Student Services for Cleveland County Schools. Welcome back, not your first time here, so welcome back to you.
Thank you, Rhonda. I'm happy to be here today.
And we are going to talk about senior year, students in their senior year, parents with students in their senior year. But first of all, if you don't mind, give us a little bit of your background, your experience in education.
All right, so I am Director of Student Services. I work with all the school counselors and social workers across Cleveland County Schools, and also now serve as the liaison with the nurses through the health department. We are so fortunate to have a good student services group to be able to work and assist our students, K-12, but especially now in this senior year as we are getting ready to send them, off to that next level after graduation. I've been in the district 26 years, just finished that back in the spring, and started out as an elementary counselor, and have, moved now to working with all students in grades K through 12.
So senior year, very important year, that 12th grade year and end of your educational journey through secondary education anyway. So talk about what's on their mind right now. What should they be considering, students and parents alike?
Yeah. So for parents and both, I think the senior year, it's such a super busy year. It's really fast, and there's a lot. And as I'll talk always about some emotions, I'll tie that in my conversations. There's a lot of emotions that come with that senior year. There's excitement, joy, fear, anxiety, maybe a little sadness. And I said, as you and I were talking before the program started, it's kind of cool because if you think about a child when they're born through that age 18, a parent really has about 936 weeks, to have their child at home and really make that impact and that impression. And then again, the anxiety comes with, are they ready to go? Are they ready to be adults? What's that next step? Will they be employed? Will they be enlisted in the services, armed services? Or will they be, going on to that next level of post-secondary education and enrolled in a school or a certificate program somewhere?
Yeah, absolutely. So who at the school level can help those seniors and students with that next step?
Okay, so there are a few people actually that can help them, between the career development coordinators that we have at our high schools in the CTE programs that we provide. That's a good connection for those students who may be looking at just the career path to the next step in life. Then we also have our school counselors who can help with helping those seniors connect to colleges. They can also look at the career piece as well as that, being enrolled and enlisted in the armed services. They can look at that piece as well. But, they really do try and encourage and help students to navigate that pathway to post-secondary options of certificate programming or, looking at enrollment at the university or community college level. And so, but let me just kind of backtrack too and talk about just for a minute in thinking about that senior year and getting prepared as you start to reach out to the school counselor, the CDC, those people that can really help you navigate to those next steps. This is your final moments, maybe in your hometown, maybe in your home. So I would encourage both parents and students, enjoy this last year. The senior year goes by really fast. We've already gotten it kicked off, and folks are starting to go to those first football games, and we'll have homecoming coming down the pike, and then you have your winter sports with spring events and graduation, the prom and graduation. So just a lot of things. And so, first and foremost, enjoy this last time together. And then as you move into working and navigating and working with that school counselor and the CDCs and others and helping you navigate the path, I would suggest that you and your student get a master calendar. Just put it on the wall, put it on the refrigerator, make sure, it might be on the computer, but just so that you all are on the same page with what are the deadlines that are coming up. Senior year is chocked full of deadlines. So go ahead and get those on a calendar so that you and your student are both on the same page about what's coming up and what's next. And then, just getting those things on the calendar helps it to run a little smoother. And because again, it can be a little stressful. And so parents, just be aware of the deadlines and things like that are coming up. And so that's my number one, like enjoy it. And then number two, get that calendar and, and then again, seek out your CDCs and your school counselors to help you navigate this process.
That's good advice. Maybe getting the calendar first will allow you to enjoy it.
That is true. Exactly.
Very good
Yes.
advice, though. So, talk about resources. If
Okay.
students are considering college as that next step and
Okay.
working with their counselor, talk about the resources that
Okay.
they need to be aware of.
All right, so resources, and before coming on today, I actually just went on a couple websites because each school, as I've shared, has that senior counselor. And so on that school's website, there is a tool that the senior counselors have a web page where they list all their important dates, the activities that are coming up, and they've got the resources that are listed there. And I just happened to navigate my way, to Ms. Fralick's senior page at Shelby High School. And again, I don't want to overlook our other senior counselors that all have done a great job with their websites as well. But on there, for example, she has announcements that are coming up. These are important announcements to be reminded of. The senior dates, scholarships, college application and access for that information, how to get your transcript ordered and sent to the colleges and universities, FAFSA that will be coming up, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a little while. But one of the main resources that I would direct parents to is the College Foundation of North Carolina, and that web address is cfnc.org. And I know we were talking about the senior year and that senior experience, but I would encourage, if you have a kindergartner, go ahead and start looking at all the information that the College Foundation of North Carolina provides, because that really does, their motto is helping students plan, apply, and pay for college. And so on that website, there are tons of resources, in addition to an application hub where you can do a general application. Now, depending on what college or university or community college program your student is looking at, you always want to visit that school's website to see the resources and the activities and the deadlines for those individual colleges. But the College Foundation of North Carolina's website will be a very good starting point for any direction that your child wants to take. So that's very important. I'll share that, and then something else that's coming up in October is the College Application Week that CFNC hosts, where many of our North Carolina colleges waive the application fee during that week. So senior year is busy, fast, all that. It can also be very expensive. So look for any kind of ways that you can save money. And there is one way, is to try and get your student online early and looking at those North Carolina schools that they may be interested in that waive the fee. And that's coming up October 21st through 27th of this year.
Okay, so they can get those applications in late October and maybe avoid that application fee, which those are not
Those can
inexpensive.
be hefty, yes. And especially if your student, personally, my children have graduated a long time ago and moved into the world of college, but that adds up very quickly. My kids did not know exactly where they were going, so 2, 3, 4 applications later, and not applying during that free window, it was expensive. And
Yes.
so that's, that'll be an area that you can save in. And then, once you get that application in, and part of that application, students will have to ask for letters of recommendation. Please do that early. I ask them, ask your teachers, ask your counselors, any community member that you're going to ask to do you, the favor or the honor of writing your recommendation letter. Please don't put that out onto the last minute or the night before. Give them a couple weeks, and then also equip that person that you're asking to write your recommendation just with a few of the things that you really enjoy, a few of the extracurriculars that you've been involved in. Again, not to ask them, hey, write it this way, but you're just giving them some tips for the things that you were interested in and most involved in, so that they do have some content and really be able to talk, in that college language about,
Yeah, makes sense.
how you've excelled and how you've accelerated in certain areas.
Yeah, makes sense. And then probably once they get those letters of recommendation, they can be reused or tweaked just a little bit if they apply for something else.
Exactly.
So you talked about the financial piece. So families do often look for help in paying for college.
Yes.
What are some things you can tell them about getting that financial assistance?
Right. And so once you do, once your student has decided where they're going, and not necessarily that they've been accepted to that school yet, but go ahead and start reaching out to those schools, to their websites, to their financial aid departments, because a lot of times, while we have local scholarships, and then there are scholarships that can be found on the national stage, by Googling and checking things out on the web, I would always say reach out to that school's financial aid department, because they'll be able to tell you about school-based merit scholarships that your student may qualify for. They'll be able to tell you and introduce you to competitive scholarships that may be available for your child to apply for. And then they will look at the financial aid packages based on you completing a FAFSA. And so we'll talk in just a minute about the FAFSA, but I want to just back up to our local scholarships and reiterate checking that school counselor's website and checking and staying attuned to when your counselor puts things out. Make sure you're applying for our local scholarships. There's a lot of them out there. Sometimes we only have 1 to 2 applicants for a scholarship. And so it's, make that competitive. If you've worked hard, apply for those scholarships and put yourself out there. And then back to FAFSA. So that is a financial aid opportunity that everyone should fill out the FAFSA application as soon as those are made available. And that's coming in the late fall of this year. They changed FAFSA a little bit last year. They tried to make it a simpler form and easier for parents and students to fill out. What we experienced were a few glitches here and there, but they've continued to refine, revise, and work on that. And so we are expecting that in late fall, early winter. So just, stay in tune again with that website at the school level to see when FAFSA is coming out this year.
Okay, great. You've had some really great advice for students in their senior year and their parents. Anything else that we haven't touched on that you would offer to seniors and parents or students of any age, really?
Yeah, well, and honestly, while you are encouraged to have fun in this senior year, don't let up on the gas pedal. You still want to finish very strong. And I know, again, a lot of kids will get senioritis in that second semester especially. Some might actually be getting it a little bit now, but I would just encourage, parents to encourage their students, finish strong. Because colleges will revisit, they can revisit those applications, they can revisit after you've been accepted, but you just want to finish your high school career at a very strong level. And so I would just encourage kids to keep pounding until that very last day. And graduation coming up in May, at the end of May, it'll be fast this year.
It will be. Well, thank you so much for being here today and for sharing some great advice for our students and parents.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with more after this.
Tune in to Senior Moments here on C19 TV. I am Jackie Sibley Newton with Terabella Assisted Living. Whether you are a senior planning for your own future or helping someone make decisions, Senior Moments has got information to share. We talk about the wealth of services, activities, and healthy living options available to you here in our area. That's Senior Moments on C19 and also on C19.tv.
For many kids, just showing up to school is a challenge. Staying through graduation is even harder. So at Communities and Schools, we do just what our name says. Our staff brings a community of resources to meet each student's needs right in their school, doing whatever it takes to keep kids focused, so they see what we see, a bright future. Join in at communitiesinschools.org.
Hi, I'm Shara Miller, the host of Artworks. Each month we bring to you wonderful, talented artists from here in Cleveland County and the region. We have artists, we have potters, we have painters, we have musicians, we have actors. We just have wonderful artists that come to you and tell you about all that they're doing, their creativity, what inspires them. Join me here on Artworks each month on C19. You can also watch us online at c19.tv.
Welcome back to School Matters. In this half of our program, we're going to be talking about food. Jamie Career, who is the Director of School Nutrition for Cleveland County Schools, is here with us. Welcome to you.
Thank you for having me.
And you are fairly new to your role, not completely new, but fairly new. So start out by just giving us a little bit about your background and education, if you don't mind.
So this starts my third year as being the School Nutrition Director for Cleveland County Schools. And prior to that, I was the supervisor for Cleveland County Schools. And then I was the manager of the schools. And then I was a cafeteria worker and the bus driver at the very beginning. So I've been here since 2007.
Okay.
Started out at Burns High School, went to Union Elementary, Burns Middle, and came to the office and still love working in the schools.
Awesome. That is wonderful. Well, as everybody is always interested in learning about with a brand new school year, what's new in terms of school nutrition?
What's new is the fun thing that you asked that is something that we always do is we ask students, what do you want to see brought to the cafeteria? So, they always give you ideas like macaroni and cheese, popcorn chicken, but we want to throw a flair to it. So this year we brought in ACP, which is rice queso. Everyone loves some queso from the Mexican restaurants.
Yes, ACP.
Yes, diced chicken with tortilla chips. That was actually served the very first day of school.
Okay.
And that was very popular, not with just elementary, but all the way through high school. We've brought in barbecue with hush puppies, something that, I've never seen on a menu in school nutrition, but we have those approved from the state. We've brought in chicken sliders this year, so instead of getting a chicken sandwich, you're getting 2 mini sliders. So that's been a hit with them. A barbecue rib sandwich, that's something that we've brought in this year. Of course, Poppin' Mac and Cheese Bowl, which is popcorn chicken with macaroni and cheese. That's 2 of their favorite things to have, so we just kind of combined it. Chicken lo mein noodles, that's something we brought in, and that's a little flair for the Chinese lovers out there in the school system. It's popcorn chicken with chow mein noodles and a little sauce, and it's I call it not sweet but not spicy. So it's just one of those little twists that you'd have to try. We brought in chicken, pepperoni, and cheese croissants. That's something that we had today. We've got beef teriyaki dunkers, which is like teriyaki glaze on little beef strips. So those are really good. And then we didn't forget about breakfast, because breakfast, we're always talking about lunch menu items. Well, we had to bring some new things into breakfast. So we did Fruit Loop waffles and glazed donut bites. We've got mini blueberry pancakes and blueberry waffles. We've got a strawberry cream cheese bagel. We actually had that this week, and it smelled really, really good. I didn't get a chance to try it, but I was working in the school, and I thought, why did I not eat one today? But then some of the kids' favorites that we've left were the chicken quesadillas and the walk-in tacos, where you actually open up your bag of Doritos and you pour your taco meat and your cheese all in this Dorito bag, and you squish it all together, and you put your salsa, your sour cream, all of that in there, and you eat out of the bag.
Oh my goodness, you make lunch sound so fun.
It is. It's a lot of fun. I'm like, who doesn't like to play with your food and then mix it all together and eat it out of the bag? I mean, that is the neatest thing for me.
That is awesome.
I really love doing that. And of course, we've got cheesy bacon wedges. You think about appetizers out in a steakhouse. Well, we kind of brought our appetizer to child nutrition. So you have bacon and potato wedges with cheese, all that's on top. You can dip it in your ranch, whatever you want to dip it in, but they're good without any dip as well.
I'm hungry now.
I know, right?
This sounds really, really great. Well, you already made lunch sound fun, and breakfast too. Those Fruit Loop waffles. Is that what
Yes,
you
if
said?
you
Oh
like
my
Fruit Loops, you'll love
gosh.
those, yes.
Oh yes, I have Fruit Loops in the cabinet at home. But school cafeterias seem to celebrate a lot and have some fun things going on all the time. So talk about some of those celebrations during the school year.
Well, the very beginning of school this year, we decided to do a free slushie if you've got lunch with us. So we gave every student in Cleveland County on the very first day of school a free slushie.
Oh,
We're
nice.
celebrating the first day of school. Who doesn't love the first day of school? It's like clean, it's fresh, it's fun, new year, new teachers, just, I don't know, new clothes, new book bags, new shoes, so a free slushie. So we did that the very first day of school. And then we'll also have the National School Lunch Week, which is October 15th through the 18th. And they always have a really fun theme that goes with that. So this year it's School Lunch Pirates. So you'll see some changes to some of the school food names during that week. And we'll also offer a free slushie that week because we like slushies and it's a fruit. So why not give out a free fruit of a children's choice? We do a Friendsgiving, and this year we're actually doing turkey and gravy with rolls, mashed potatoes, green beans, and this year we're going to try to find a really neat dessert like an apple crisp or something. That's something we're looking for. But we would like to invite parents this year to come for Friendsgiving with their kids. That's one
Nice.
thing I feel like, you know, Friendsgiving, you're celebrating with your friends, but also parents could join their child for a Friendsgiving meal with their child as well. So that's another thing we're doing different this year. Chinese New Year, very, very, very popular, not just with the children, but the adults as well. You get the fortune cookie. Who doesn't like to open up a fortune cookie at lunch? Egg rolls and popcorn chicken with zesty orange sauce and rice. And then we're also doing the Super Bowl tailgate. That was very popular. So this year I'm going to try to encourage our cafeteria workers to wear jerseys of their choice. And then we're going to do the pizza and the wings again. Wings sold out last year. So this year we're ready for the bigger number of wings. And it's just amazing at the excitement that people get just in, when we're excited, they're excited about food. So we're really wanting to do things different a little bit for the Super Bowl. And then, of course, you can't forget National Breakfast Week. That is one of our favorite things because you get to celebrate yet another week, decorate your cafeteria, and it's clue into school breakfast. So this time, you'll be getting clues daily as to what you're having for breakfast. So it won't be saying breakfast pizza. It'll be maybe sausage pieces or cheese, gravy, something to give you a clue about what you're having for that day. So we're just trying to make child nutrition fun. Because eating is fun.
It is
Yes,
fun.
it is fun.
You've got me excited about it. So you mentioned the free slushies, and our students are able to eat breakfast and lunch for free. Talk about that and how we're able to do that.
So CEP is Community Eligibility Provision. It's a program that provides an alternative to household eligibility applications for free and reduced price meals in high poverty areas. So what we do every year is we reevaluate our situation in the schools. We fill out the proper paperwork and we try to keep it going on for 4 years. The purpose of the program is to provide nutritious meals for all the students in Cleveland County at no cost to the families. That is something I know has been a struggle, you know, for parents to, it's hard to come up with breakfast and lunch pricing. It's not always easy to feed your kids breakfast and lunch. So we're taking that burden and we're providing free breakfast and free lunch to all students in Cleveland County at no cost to the parents. The only time that they would need money on their lunch accounts is if they wanted to purchase ice cream and chips and those extra items.
Something extra, yeah.
Yes, but now if we're offering the free slushie for the day, that is free of charge as well.
Fun. Like we've been saying, it's all fun.
It's fun, yes.
So talk about your staff. You mentioned the different roles you've held yourself. It takes a lot of people to feed the students of Cleveland County schools.
It
Talk
really
about that.
does. So we obviously have 26 schools and we have 2 satellites. Of course, we satellite food for Early College and we satellite for North Shelby. Every school has a manager, so we have 26 total managers. There are 6 office staff at the central office, and every one of us are cross-trained to work in schools in the event that there's a shortage on staff. But right now I have 70 full-time staff. I have 44 subs working in a 5-day capacity in our schools, and I also have a call list of subs that we can call in the event that someone's absent in our schools. I also have Ronald Brooks, who does our commodity deliveries to all of our schools with our food we get from the USDA. And then Tammy Ellis, of course, she is a huge help by going and being a sub in a school at times that I need her, but she also does our chemical and supply deliveries.
Okay.
It takes a village to run a school.
Yes, it does. It sure does. I'm just curious, how many meals that you serve a day? We talked about your staff of 70, so how many meals can those 70 people serve in a school year?
So last year alone, in the whole year, we served over 833,000 breakfasts for that entire school year. And that's averages about 4,600 breakfasts a day. Now, when we have breakfast week and things that we change and very popular items, you'll serve well over 5,000 breakfasts. But for the average, we do about 4,600 a day. And then for lunch last year, we sold 1,560,515 lunches.
Wow.
So I could not do that without all of those managers and all of that staff being in those schools, working day in and day out. So they're up and in schools most of the time before any of us even get up. I mean, they're awake at 5 a.m., they're going in their schools at 6 a.m., and they're getting that breakfast ready. They're calling me if something's broken down. Like, there's a lot of behind the scenes I don't think people see that go on in child nutrition.
Absolutely. I would have never guessed that many. That's a lot.
Yes, that's a lot.
That's a lot. So I know my own grandchildren are always checking the school lunch menu. You know, what are we having today? And I've heard parents checking the school menu. How do you set that? How is that set, and how do you select it?
So my team in the office, we sit down together, Jennifer Ledbetter, Shauna Lewis, those are 2 supervisors for Cleveland County Nutrition, and then I have Deborah, Melanie, and Connie that's in our office as well. We sit down and we talk about things we'd like to see in the cafeteria. And so then we start reaching out to vendors and finding those particular items. Are they K-12? And we sit down with them and we start getting samples. Well, that's where middle of the school year we'll start piloting at different schools. Let's try this for a day and give out samples to students. They're our driving force for what we do. Without the students' opinion, I don't think we would ever have a great menu. I think the students are what drives our menu. The students are what drives our breakfast. And by giving them samples and letting them be the choosing factor of what we bring in, that has really been beneficial for us in the last 3 years.
That's awesome. Well, we've talked about a lot of neat things, a lot of nice things. Is there anything else you would like to add, or anything you need for parents to know, students to know about school nutrition?
So parents, if they want to look at the menus, they can go to clevelandcountynutrition.org, and that's our personal website for Cleveland County Schools.
Great.
And they can pull the menus, and we usually have them published in enough time that they can go, like I know a lot of parents will call and say, this is how I pack my kids' lunch. It's based on what you have for the particular day. So they can go on there and they can pull the menus. They can click the arrow over and see September's menus are already ready. We're working on finishing up October's menus. That's something that's definitely helpful, especially if they're, their child's in the school and they wanted to reach out to that manager. There's a contact us on there. They can contact their school cafeteria manager. That's a very, very helpful source for all parents, especially when it comes to children. If they want to know what's on their lunch accounts, they can hook up to linkconnect.com and they can create an account, see what their children are eating in the cafeterias. They can put money on their kids' accounts from there, or they can still send it in the envelopes to the school with their child. They can write a check to the schools if they want to give their children some money for ice cream and chips. But it's definitely a helpful source on the Cleveland County Nutrition. .org.
Oh yeah, to be sure, absolutely. So I'm just curious, I want to end with this. What is the most popular meal?
The most popular meal, I would have to say, is tacos.
Okay.
Tacos or anything just Mexican related, or Chinese food is a huge popular item. ACP the first day took us by surprise.
So that might become the most popular.
I think that may be our most popular after this year goes, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Jamie. It was a lot of fun to talk to you and have you here.
Thank you for having me.
And for all the work that you do to serve
I
those
could
children
not
every
do it
day.
without the staff. The staff makes the school go round.
I know. Well, thank you again.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching another edition of School Matters.
School Matters is a production of the Communications Department of the Cleveland County School System. For additional information, visit our website at www.clevelandcountyschools.org.